Okay, let's learn how to make a poached egg. You need your bread, put that in the toaster. You need a jug full of hot water, boiled water, your eggs, butter, white vinegar and salt, and paper towels for the end. So put the water in the jug, in the pot. Okay, and then turn it on. Do you know what a rolling boil is? So it's not a full-on boil, but enough so it's kind of rolling, like bubbling on the surface. So it won't take long, because you've already boiled the water in the jug. It won't take long in the pot. Okay, you've got the paper towel, so that at the end, you're going to do two things. You're going to put the toast on it, and that'll, if there's any condensation on the plate, so you have perfectly crispy toast. And then also you're going to put the the egg or eggs on it, and then that'll absorb all the moisture, so then you don't get wet, soggy toast from that as well. Okay, watch the water with me. I'll show you, I'll just turn this around. Okay. You see that? So we'll just wait a moment and then it'll get boiling. Okay, now I'm worried you're going to starve when you're flat, so please just give it a go. And it's not going to be perfect the first time, but if you keep trying it, I don't know, like in a few weeks or even a week, you're going to be really good at it and you'll have perfect poached eggs. And if you don't, then, I don't know, a year's going to go by and you still won't know how to do it and you'll be starving. Okay, so it's just starting to go now, so we'll just give it a minute. Okay, so there's two ways of doing the eggs. You can either crack them directly into the pot, or you can put them in a little bowl or a cup even, and then you can drop, if you don't want to get your hands into, like, close to the water, you can just drop it in there. Okay, so while we're doing that, you're going to put in about a teaspoon, just under a teaspoon of salt. Okay, that's going to make the water, the boiling point, go up. Okay, and okay, then you put a splash of vinegar in. I don't actually know how much I put in, probably about a teaspoon. Just over a teaspoon. Okay, and that'll keep the egg whites crisp, and it'll also help them keep their shape and stay together. Okay, so watch this. Come look at it again. See it now? Can you see that? Sorry, there, came on the camera. So I'm just going to turn it down. So it's about, I'm using gas obviously, so it's about halfway in the middle. Okay, so when the eggs hit the water, they are colder obviously than the water. They're at room temperature, but even though they're at room temperature, they are going to reduce the heat or the boiling, how hot the water is. Okay, so you want to do it quickly, because otherwise it's going to drop it and then further drop it. So the second egg is going to take longer to cook, a lot longer to cook than the first egg. So, okay, first things first, put the toast on. Sorry, my phone, so I can't really show you. You just do your thing and I'll do mine, okay? So you crack your egg into the water. And then straight away crack your other one. As I said, if you don't want to put your hand in it, close to it, you can just put it in a, what do you call it, a cup or a little bowl. Okay, now I fiddle with it, so I just try and keep the whites as kind of closed up as possible. But you do you. Oh god, one of mine's exploded. Anyway, so if you put the toast in at the same time as you're doing the eggs, then you can use the toaster as a guide as to how long the eggs are taking. And it also depends on how runny you want your yolks. Okay, so I'm going to do mine, will probably take about 3 minutes. But really, it just depends on what you want your eggs to be like. But as I said, use the toaster as a guide. So you've got 2 pieces of paper. You've got one on the plate, and you're going to put the toast on that, and then you're going to put the eggs on the other one. Yeah, so promise me you'll give it a go. I know you don't want to, but if you give it a go, as I said, if you keep trying, it gets easier and easier each time, and by the end of it, you'll be an absolute pro at this, and you won't go hungry. Okay? So now it's starting to boil, like hard out. So you can kind of scoop the gunky stuff off the top if you want, but you don't have to. Okay, and you could put a timer on. There's lots of ways of doing it, or you can just use your eyes to just tell how they're looking. Basically, you're going on how, I don't know what you call it, but the white that's close to the yolk, you want to make sure that's properly white, and then you can actually feel for how hard or hard looking the yolk looks, and that will tell you how poached it is. Sweet. I'm proud of you for giving it a go, okay? So there's our toast. Right, so get that out and butter it. So if your butter is cold, out of the fridge or whatever, just get it and cut it in really little like shards. And then if you just lay that on the toast, then the toast will melt it for you. Okay, let's have a look. So you've got your slotted spoon. So use the slotted spoon and just pick the egg out. And so that's the two things I'm looking for. God, mine's one completely exploded. Anyway. Okay, so mine are ready and hopefully yours are too. So just give it a little tap and then just put it on the piece of, you can see it, sorry. Put it on the piece of paper towel. There you go, and then all the water will just, you can just get that off there. Okay, now my other egg is dead. Doesn't matter, it still tastes fine. Okay. It doesn't look that flash. Anyway, so as I said, put it on the paper towel and then just kind of dab at it. Okay, and that gets all the water off. And then you just use the solid spoon to put them on the toast. Okay, because you've had salt in the water. You shouldn't need that much. We can put salt and pepper on the eggs, but because they're a little bit salty, that's it. And that's how you make poached eggs. That's what mine looks like. See, it's got perfectly runny poached eggs.